Just letting everyone know on Zoom that we'll be getting started soon, but we're waiting for more.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. My name is Valerie Mason. I'm the chair of Manhattan Community Board of 8. I would like to welcome you to our June 4 board meeting. We have an action-packed agenda tonight. And so we will start off. Well, first, I just want to say we're going to have a little schedule change. Moving Redevelopment Island Committee to the first committee report. So right now that's the only change. So let's get started. Oh, and I also want to thank Windsor College for providing this auditorium for us. And it's so nice and cool with you. So thank you, Windsor College. Okay. Can you do something with that one? Rather not. I mean,
certain
you
person.
want to.
Certain person.
Okay. Laura Davis.
So whichever side you're on, just come up to the microphone at the front. And the camera that's going to use probably gonna be that camera, but so if you want to face that, but you just face the audience.
And let me just introduce a couple of people and you can get ready. I'm gonna do a couple in person first. Nathaniel is only registering with his first name, so that's all I can follow. And then Matt. You'll have 2 minutes.
Thank you
for allowing me to speak tonight. My name is Laura Davis and I live on Gray Avenue between Main First and 2nd Street. My dog was critically attacked and others were injured and killed by the same dog last year. How does New York define a dangerous dog? A dangerous dog is any dog without justification attacks a person, companion animal, or domestic animal and causes physical injury or death and behaves in a manner that a reasonable person believes causes a serious and unjustified imminent or serious physical injury or death. That's an extra. Well, what is a companion animal? Companion animals are pets, or any dog and cat, and any other domestic animal that normally lives in or near the household of the owner who cares for them. If this is the New York laws, then why are aggressive dogs that attack and kill, or confirmed war dogs, one of which is mine, nothing is done? We were told that all New York, all dogs are considered property. In fact, in 1936, came to the AMC where my dog was having emergency surgery, and I was told there was nothing they can do, not even take it to court. My persistence got to the Board of Health, where they called the dog owner, to which he replied, "This never happened before." Did it happen before? Yes. Was it investigated? No. And 2 months later, the same dog killed his toy. What recourse do we have if our dogs being property, although New York defines a dangerous dog differently? Nothing we can do but go to small claims court. And if the defendant doesn't show, we the plaintiffs have to pay for our marshal or sheriff to find their assets, again, punishing the victims. We need to change the laws to protect our pets. I am not speaking about the dog fights, although the aggression should be on file, should it happen again. But we need a law that after 1 or 2 incidents, these dogs should be euthanized and held responsible, not just for the victims, but the negligence and emotional distress. Can you wrap up, please? Yeah. A passionate group of friends have come together with a common goal to enhance the safety, which is of our pets. Would you please help us get to the right people who can share our petition that has over 500 names and help us introduce this change? The more people we have to advocate for this change, we surely believe it can happen. Thank you for your time. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry for your loss.
My dog is safe.
Well, I mean, still,
Yeah.
and just give us the petitions and we will, see if we can forward them to the electeds and get back.
Okay, who should I send the petition?
Send it.
They're online or they're,
It's online, it's changed.
Yeah. Our email address is info@cb8m.com, or you go out to the front, or even actually get a copy of our agenda, the email address is on.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Next, is it, where's Nathaniel? Aren't you next? Or did I say the wrong thing? Nathaniel has some charts. You probably won't be able to see them. He is going to send us pictures of them. And so if you're interested in seeing them up close and personal, you can again go to info@cb8m.com and we will send it to you later. 2 minutes.
Yes.
Then,
Thank you, Valerie. I want to just say that it's going to be a good job, and I too am sorry for the loss of your dog. That's very simple to me. And then run through some information that's become available. In the draft environmental impact study, it's been disclosed that they're looking at ambulance bay on the 66 residential side of the 600-foot tower. We're having a problem in the neighborhood with biohazard regulated medical waste. There's an increased frequency of daily experiences of people with rolling carts with biohazardous material. There's going to be 250 patient beds and 28 operating rooms. And now my main topic is open space, and each of the individual chairs will understand how this affects them. In the report that was submitted, it said that there are 5.2 acres of publicly accessible open space with 2.95 acres of open space for passive recreation. In fact, the first 3 properties on the list have been closed. The next 5 properties are outside of the circle. The next 2 are also outside of the circle. And the largest of all the public spaces, St. Catherine's Park, is about to be closed for 2 years. So that leaves this proposal with 2.156 total active acres and 1.13 passive acres. And what does that mean for you? It means that the population of 55,000 people in the census have 1.13 acres of passive space. That's 98 places, she said. I counted every bench and every chair. 55,000 people in this jurisdiction, in this vicinity.
Thank you, Dan. Next, Matt. And then after that, Morgan Riley, Benita Solomon, and James Sullivan.
Now, this is a district that's only 17 new stores, relocations, opening on Madison since this year. And actually, all here today is a new absolute store, which opened up on the former Nellis, as a kind of thing that. So it's more corporate first store of this Italian brand in the United States, Renato, which is the Brazilian. And it's in Steve Airline first store in the United States. Joanna Ortiz at $7.99. This Colombian designer first store in the United States. It's like going on, but there's a lot of investments. We really encourage you all stop by, take a look at us too, and look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks on that. It's a beautiful steel day that we celebrated. Thank you.
Congratulations, Matt. Okay, Gordon. Can you please talk to the microphone, just speak a little bit faster? Can you just tell them?
And try not to yell into the microphone. It's very, you recognize on Zoom and on YouTube that it's very toggle. We are in a very large auditorium, and so it's not going to be perfect audio. This is not going to be much better than this.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is John Riley. I'm the president of CB8M, a volunteer organization well known to most of you. Focusing on quality of life in the Upper East Side and East Side. An issue that has plagued the Upper East Side for the past 5 years, and that has only gotten worse, is the unlawful presence of e-bikes, e-scooters, and even mopeds riding on the sidewalks and riding against traffic. CB8M has provided their a prompt in English and Spanish for distribution to individual deliveries, takeout shops, and other businesses. The card acknowledges appreciation for their work, but reminds them to obey traffic laws. Sharon Arsenal, our CB8M executive director, is distributed tonight copies of the card. Please do one delivery when receiving for your next order. For additional copies, contact citizens. This is only a few weeks ago at the intersection of 7th Street and 3rd Avenue. An e-bike seen riding against traffic ran down a respected rabbi in our community who was crossing the avenue with a light in his favor. The rabbi was taken to the hospital, operated on, and is now in rehabilitation. The unidentified firefighter sped off and is still at large. We commend the Community Board Aid and its Transportation Committee for addressing e-bike, pedestrian, and traffic safety issues in the past. We ask for continued discussion and action on this vital community issue. We demand that the food delivery apps, Uber Eats, DoorDash, and the rest be held to account for the traffic safety violations of their workers. If you want to contact information, it's citygospelnyc.org, 212-996-0745. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorman. I know Sharon's hitting on ours. Sharon, you're finished, maybe you want to put them on the table outside. Okay. Benita Solomon?
We're just gonna swap. We'll pass it around.
Okay, fine, no problem.
Good evening, my name is James Solomon. I appreciate the opportunity to appear before you again this evening. As some of you know, this is not my first appearance. My family and I live next door to 210 East 62nd Street, which is one of the landmarks community agenda items. For the past 7 years, we have worked closely with this board to address and correct intolerable conditions that have been created by the unlawful and disrespectful actions of our neighbor. The applicant has historically and currently misrepresented the existing conditions to justify their unprecedented additions. And as I testified to the landmarks committee on the 17th, our neighbor has blatantly disregarded the landmarks law, building code, and our historic community by cutting the house, illegally excavating the basement and underpinning without notice or permission both our home and its other neighbor, and by overruling an enormous opposition that brought forward the road neighbors' property lines. Despite numerous work orders and hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines and collectively at the 14 open construction site, whose horrible impact on the community economy overstated. We were gratified that landmarks committee members were witness to the ongoing conduct of the applicant and the need for effective remediation and oversight of the city. That last Monday's committee members received 25 letters to the community in opposition to the applicant's proposal and a petition signed by an additional 41 residents. We appreciate the members of Parliament. This new proposal does not in any way meet the standards of appropriateness. It's too disproportionate with other buildings in this board that are completely disrespectful of the right of your government to the green space. We urge the board to unanimously approve the committee's resolution and work with us to ensure that LPC and the city of New York will deny this application and aggressively pursue remedies so that each tenant is returned to a safe and habitable condition.
Okay, thank you. Now, Benita Solomon?
Did you want me to?
Hi, my name is Benita Solomon. I live next door to 10 Second Street. I wanted to impact with this proposed year and the addition will have on the historic district. The additions are shown in orange, so you can better see the result in asking. Okay, you have copies of it in the room. 210 is 105 intact row houses built in 1870 by the same architect. This proposal would be unprecedented. No petition is active and approved by policy and federal arms 1967 as for distribution. It's 3 stories high, and it's been 16 feet of land and 15 feet into the green space. It has solid rails on the side that have an additional 3 feet inches. The rear and new addition will overwhelm the original building and its neighbors. It's made of glass and aluminum materials. Those are not contextual. We are not opposed to modestly scaled contextual stepped back additions that are typical of a federal farm. We happen to live in one that's next door. You should the next. The neighbor at 208 is not here tonight. is on the other side of this section, and I just marked, before and after what will happen to their view. And we can see it. The before, he treats all the way through to the entire, Kadar, this is the, which is, yes, split aside, that will rise 3 stories up, and 70, almost 70. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to move to Zoom. And then after that, we can start using these microphones because apparently nobody can hear us on Zoom. So we're gonna see what happens. Just bear with us, okay? Everyone, David?
Everyone, if you're here, raise your hand. Actually,
Okay, next. Dylan Kennedy?
and as you hear your name called, please just raise your virtual hand so that you can start the clock. And it's not everyone on our screen, so just be able to see that. Go ahead.
Hi, is everyone able to hear me?
Yes.
I want to keep these comments brief. I just wanted to quickly touch on 2 issues that I think a lot of people on the board have already heard me discuss. But I want to reiterate my position and stance in support of both City of Yes and congestion pricing. One of my favorite things about New York City is I think it's really kind of the best city in America. It has wonderful things like abundant public transportation, corner stores, apartment buildings. These are all a big part of what I feel like is home and what makes New York City special. And I think in using money from congestion pricing to invest more in public transportation, along with allowing more varied types of housing, is going to make the city a much better place for all. So across those 2 issues, which I think are kind of a core part of what makes a city, I urge Community Board 8 to take stances both in support of City of Yes and also to push back on the existing pause on congestion pricing. Thank you very much for your time.
Hi, Dylan. Just wondering how your lease negotiation is going.
So it was a little bit higher rent than I was hoping for, but I was able to talk it into a 2-year one. So that's better than a 1-year one. And I very much appreciate you remembering that. I'm very pleased to say I will be in the Upper East Side for the next 2 years.
Great, thank you. Thank you for coming tonight. Next, we'll have Mitoko Shiboji and then Luis Argudo.
Hi, do you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yes, great. So my name is Motoko Shoboji. I'm here to thank Tina and Addison, the co-chair of Youth Education and Libraries Committee, for writing such a beautiful resolution about Manhattan students' priority to high school admission. School Chancellor Banks announced last Thursday his decision that priority will be given to Manhattan students to 75% of the seats at 6 high schools in our district. Thank you for helping our voices heard. However, many of us 7th graders and parents are very concerned about how the new small class size law will be implemented. Although it sounds great, without having spaces, this means less students can get into desirable schools, and it will further displace students from schools of their choices. So I urge Community Board 8 to help us again so our concerns are raised to elected officials and DOE. I will continue to try to speak to the co-chair of the Youth Education and Libraries Committees. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi there, it's Addison. I'm one of the co-chairs of the Youth and Education Committee, and we'll be sure to address that issue in the coming meeting. So if you want to reach out to the board office, we can speak with you more individually about how we can craft a meeting around that issue. Thank you.
We could understand one thing you said. If you want to summarize.
basically, she was thanking us for supporting, the parents' petition for restoring priority for the two parents. Apparently Jennifer Banks has restored priority, I believe she said 75% of the district, but there are other issues to be dealt with, and, she's asking the Youth Educational Libraries Committee to help her with that, and so, Addison and Tabina are very familiar with that, and I'll just make a promotion that if you're interested in that, you should come with that. Okay, Luis Arludo, and then, James Powers, and then Kiwi Callahan.
Who's the first time?
Luis Arludo.
Luis, you can unmute. And as you do your name call, please raise your virtual hand so that we can find it fast. Luis, you can unmute. If not, we'll skip you. Yeah.
Okay, James Powers,
James, you can unmute.
Great, thanks everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. The topic I want to discuss briefly is the landmark consideration of the home that was just presented as a building envelope extension into the backyard. I'm a neighbor on that street. I've thought about what's fair and what's not fair and what's an objective way to look at this. I am opposed to this on the grounds of the way it's entering the building envelope of the greenery area of the backyard. And I wanted to try to present a way that I thought about it and that others may come to their own objective opinion. But I want to just say I am pro-development. I think people should be able to develop their homes, and that the landmark process is a good, consistent way for people to do that, while also trying to maintain the beauty that we see in our landmark districts. If I could put a point on my issue, it was very well summarized in the presentation from the Solomons. Where do we snap the line and say we're now setting a new precedent for how much green space we can take up? The more you keep extending that line, the more you're on a path to it eventually being completely consumed. And I think this is a very clear example of where we may be on that journey. If we allow ourselves to look past the very clear objective neighboring boundaries that could be adhered to and allow us to take a step further, then that's a precedent. And we can keep doing that more and more and more till eventually we have no green space. I don't think that's in the spirit of why landmarks exist, why community boards get together and value green space. So I just wanted to say, I think there is an objective way to look at opposing it. And I hope that we find a different proposal in front of us that occupies less of the green space, because it's something that we all enjoy and value. That's it.
thank you. Kiwi Callahan.
Kiwi, if you were here in the Zoom room or in person, raise your virtual hand.
Were you really good? Okay, all right, Julianne Britannia.
Julianne, you can unmute.
Great. As president of Treadwell Farm Historic District, I'm speaking on behalf of all of our neighbors regarding this new application, which has been, as you know, a longstanding hazard and blight on our entire district. CB8 received 41 signatures and 25 letters before the June 17th meeting, and Julie Menon spoke out against these plans as well. I want to be clear that we are not opposed to rear yard additions and or rooftop additions, but they need to be contextual and they need to be appropriate. Since 2017, there have been 4 other single-family homes on 62nd Street with extensive renovations, namely 212, 222, 228, and most recently 226. All of these homes followed LPC rules, projects were completed in a timely fashion, and homeowners moved into well-preserved, beautiful homes that fit in form, detail, and structure, as well as context in our historic district. Since the landmark designation of Treadwell Farm, there are 3 homes that one might term were significant additions, but all three of these homes that are listed in the presentation by the homeowner were all done before landmark designation. Matter of fact, before 1940s. These homes are 218, 220, and 242. In this essence of brevity here, I just want to follow our neighbor, Mr. Powers and Mr. Solomon. You know, our gardens are our gem. And in order to allow this fellow to encroach upon our green space and change it for the future, it's not where we want your organization and CB8 to follow pursuit. We urge the committee to act with authority and foresight and trust it into to reject this application outright. We thank you for considering the long-term interests of our community in this decision-making process. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Juliana. Okay, I think that ends the public session. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, he's back. I apologize. Sorry. My screen is too small. Oh, yeah, apologies. Lo Vanderbilt and then Hindi Shachter. And then.
Yes. Am I on?
Yeah, you're on, go ahead.
This is Lo Vanderbilt speaking, representing Carnegie Hill Neighbors. I just want to put in one plug, and that is the sound, the audio sound is very good on people who respond. But for the open meeting, it's very hard to hear. I hope something can be done about that. Moving on, we are strong supporters in Carnegie Hill of the respect for the rear yard as enunciated in the opposition to 210 East 62nd and Treadwell Farm. That's a gem of a historic district. We will have more to say about that when it goes to the Landmarks Commission. We urge everyone involved to attend the Landmarks Commission hearing when it comes up. Moving on, I want to just briefly address the rear yards for us, COYHO, Housing Opportunity, and we think that the rear yard should not be limited from 30 feet to 20 feet, even though there are some views that under certain circumstances there could be indents and it might lead to more light, but we don't think that those will happen. And we also worry about accessory aspects to the rear yard, which could allow 100% cover. And I think that when this comes up later on in this meeting, that the rear yards, R8B especially, be taken in full account and respected. That's it. Thank you very much. You've got a lot of issues, and we applaud CB8 addressing them. Thank you.
Thank you, Lo. Hindi Shachter.
Any if you're here, please use your virtual hand to show you here. Who's the other people who? I have Ari Greshborn. Is that somebody who you call on?
Oh yeah, hey.
Oh no, hey.
Hey, yeah, sorry. Here.
We will get to the elected official reports when we get to that point in our agenda. So hold your hand down for a second. So it was Luis Argudo, Kiwi, Callahan, and Hindi Shachter. You're here, raise your hand, Chapman, lower your hand, don't oppose. Everyone's like.
Okay, super. All right, thank you, everyone. That ends the public session. We now move to the adoption of the agenda. As I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, there's only one sort of change to the agenda, and that would be moving the Roosevelt Island Committee to the first committee report. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Second? Second. All in favor? Perfect, thank you. Next, adoption of the minutes.
Motion to adopt.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Okay, great. Manhattan Borough President's report.
She's online.
Okay.
So
Good evening, CBA. Hear me?
yes.
Great. Hello, everyone. So why we're here? So the Manhattan Borough President's Office published an op-ed with Councilmember De La Rosa about creating a residential parking permit program in New York City. In a renewed push, our office is excited to continue the work the borough president began as a council member. Additionally, we are happy to announce the Manhattan Borough President, alongside DOT Commissioner Rodriguez and Parks Commissioner Donahue, announced that nearly 100 new and refurbished restrooms will be coming online in the next few years, 28 of which are in Manhattan. Additionally, the city has launched a Google Maps layer showing all public bathrooms across the 5 boroughs.
However, that's a sounding.
Our website for more details. The website is manhattanbp.nyc.gov. Lastly, I know summer breaks are coming up for many. However, I want to remind everyone our work continues, and our Manhattan Borough President's Office Volunteer Corps will be out at many block parties, open street events, festivals, and NYCHA family days across the borough. If you are interested in joining our volunteer corps, go to our website. And if you have community events, you can submit them directly onto our events calendar for promotion. Thank you, and have a fun and safe summer.
Here. Okay, I think in the room, we've got Courtney Pharisee and then Audrey Tennant.
And if you guys will come up and basically stand right in front of Elizabeth Ashby, so you're close enough to that microphone that's staring at you with the little eyes. And speak loudly towards it and towards the audience. And try, can we not use the microphone? Because it was, but actually like, go all the way over towards the, that's like, yeah.
Okay, beam me up. Hi, I'm Audrey from State Senator Liz Kruger's office, congestion pricing, you might have heard. Liz is not in favor of the governor's decision to halt congestion pricing. She's been very clear on her reasons. You might have seen her op-ed, you might have heard her on Brian Lair on New York One, or seen her article, her interview in New York Magazine. She's really concerned about the budget hole and of course the environmental issues. If you want, she can speak very clearly for herself. If you're interested in hearing exactly her reasoning, please let me know. I will forward any and all of these interviews where she's made it very, very clear her reasons why. It's not just to be opposed. She has clear reasons why she's opposed. I'm very concerned about this decision. Some things that we did agree on in Albany, the Grays, it started here at CB8. You might have heard that both in the Senate, Senator Kruger, along with strong support from Senator Serrano, the bill to allow the Grays to stay in their home, John and others, was approved. Overwhelmingly, one person in the Senate voted against it. He doesn't want children in uniforms, but Assemblymember Boris, ably assisted by Assemblymember Seawright, passed unanimously, I believe, in the Assembly. So that's wonderful news. Now we have to wait for the governor to sign it. She has till December 31st, either to sign it or not sign it. So if you wanted to still advocate for that, call the governor about that bill. We also, another bill that was really important to Liz that did pass both the Senate and Assembly is the Climate Superfund legislation. This is Liz's legislation about having corporations contribute to cleaning up when we have environmental disasters or we need some environmental fortification. That passed the Senate and the Assembly. We hope the governor will sign it by December 31st. Locally, kudos, congratulations to Kohler. You might have heard their memory care unit was recognized with the Beacon Award. Okay, July 9th, we have a wonderful forum, very important and worthwhile to most of our constituents, transitioning from hospital to home, paying for it and having health aides in your home. That's it. Also, one more thing, illegal cannabis shops. You know, you can call 311 now. If you see an illegal cannabis shop or you're concerned, call 311. That will connect you to the sheriffs and that will begin the process of closing them down. Thank you. Happy, safe, fun July 4th.
Thank you, Audrey. Okay.
That was perfect, I agree, so.
Yeah, Courtney. You're up.
As close to the microphone. Alex person.
Good
as
evening.
possible.
I'm Courtney Pharisee, representing the Office of Assemblymember.
Try taking the microphone.
Take the microphone for that.
stand by it. See if it works for everybody.
Good evening, I'm Courtney Darcy, representing the office of the member Rebecca Copyright. The agree from the voters, the village for the rules of the equal rights amendments, followed by rewriting and only back on the ballot. Competitor general elections. This is by a new voting distraction, and now voters will get to decide on November the 20th. So the number zero is built to improve quality of care requiring the words to be provided to the legislature on tracking data on the service needs both regionally and statewide as fast as possible. The commissioner of the OPWDD will be obliged to detail personnel levels and other issues involving continued displacement of individuals with developmental disabilities from state operating facilities under its jurisdiction. We want to wish congratulations to Lindsay Clark, Sahar Hussein, and Monica P. Sanchez, community with CB8M, receiving women distinction award last month. And we'll like to consider our office resource located at 1485 Road Avenue, between 78 and 79 streets, next to the road on you can reach us at 89 at @20.gov, or by calling 212-288-46 Road Avenue. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. Now we're gonna move to Zoom. Oh, please. Okay.
All right, now we're gonna move back to Zoom. The first person is
Curtis.
Curtis. Yeah.
And anybody else who's on Zoom is or please raise the virtual hand.
And Curtis represents.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My apologies, I'm in transit to an event. I'll be very brief. Thank you all for joining this evening. It's great to be with you. Obviously, you all know that the budget is a few days away, so we are closely monitoring what's happening with the city budget and making sure that all the things that we need as a city to move forward is included. The second thing would be the public advocate joined CB8M for a public safety committee forum this past week in Harlem, which is well received. The third thing is that we are marching in Pride. So if anyone is interested in joining our contingent, I will make sure to put the link in the chat box so you can sign up to join our contingent. Other than that, that's all. Happy Pride, and thank you for your work.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to R.A. Gershenborn, who represents Assembly Member Alex Borges.
Hey, yeah, thank you for letting me speak. I just wanted to quickly run down, now that the session in Albany is concluded, a couple highlights from the session that we just concluded. We passed 12 bills through the Assembly, 11 through both houses. And I want to just run down a couple of them. As Senator Kruger's office mentioned, we passed the Knickerbocker Grays bill. Allow them to stay in the armory. Again, if you want to do any more advocacy on that, that goes to the governor's desk for signature. And obviously, I want to thank her and thank all the Assembly members who co-sponsored and helped get that done. And that'll be sort of on the governor's desk going forward, and it did pass unanimously. We also passed the first part of a constitutional amendment lifting the constitutional cap on judges in New York, providing greater access to justice for all New Yorkers. And so we'll have to pass that again, so keep your eyes peeled for that. We passed a couple election AI bills, and my time's up, but feel free to reach out with any questions.
Thank you, Aaron. You get more time if you come to the meeting in person. Yes.
Can I raise a point of information? Can you at least put all of their pictures up there? I know that Zoom has an availability.
That's everybody who has their camera. If they don't turn their camera on, it's not gonna pop up there.
Okay, well, can we ask them to turn their cameras on?
Yes.
We can ask them to turn their cameras on, but.
Maybe by reading their lips, we can understand what they're saying, but it's like now we're sitting here and we cannot hear anything.
Should we move this one line?
No, that's terrible.
There's a request in the room that you turn your camera on, because perhaps we can lip read while you're talking, which is, it might work. Sorry about that. Always have the option to come into the room.
But we can't share that.
No, I know that.
We also have the option to get equipment that will facilitate the way people live in 2024.
Okay, you can bring that up with the assembly member. I have, okay. Okay, we appreciate the advocacy. Okay, next up, Jesse K.
No.
No?
Here we go.
Okay, Harry Gill, sorry.
Hi, everyone. Great to be here. Good evening. I first want to start with the council member's stark opposition to the certificate of application for 210 East 62nd Street. Not only is the rear extension not conforming with what's consistent for Treadwell Farms, but also there's been gross mismanagement and overdevelopment of this project. So the council member is crafting a letter to the Landmarks Preservation Commission, and we'll be asking all local elected officials to sign on as well. I want to move on briefly and talk about the budget negotiations. The city budget may be passed as early as Friday of this week, and the council member has vigorously been fighting not only to have more cash assistance for the legal assistance of domestic abuse victims, but also fighting against cuts to libraries, composting, education, and other services. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Terrell?
Go ahead.
Sir, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, now.
Okay, great. Hi, good evening, good evening, community board members. My name is Terrell Brock, and I'm here representing Senator Serrano's office. And thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm pleased to share key updates from the recent state fiscal year 2024 to 2025 budget. As chair of the Senate Committee on Cultural Affairs, Tourism, Parks, and Recreation, Senator Serrano has ensured significant investments in our community, from $200 million for the New York State park system, $100 million to enhance flagship state parks, like $150 million for the NY Swims program, like building local swimming pools. And I see I'm running out of time. Okay, I guess our office continues to support constituents with weekly off-site hours, and is available at the district office at 335 East 100th Street, or you can reach us at 212-828-5829. And also, we're glad to join Senator Kruger's efforts in supporting the Knickerbocker Grays. And also wanted to mention that we're able to help secure $89 million in operating grants for arts organizations, and $10 million each for the American Museum of Natural History, the Universal Hip Hop Museum, and the Brooklyn Museum. And
Terrell, I'm sorry, I didn't cut you, not cut you short because you let it go on. But I'm happy to have you back. I haven't seen you in a while. We've had a really hard time hearing you. So if you want to send us a little report that we can add to the agenda items so people can see it, we appreciate that, because we'd like to see exactly what you're talking about, especially the grant for art organization. So nothing more we can do. Thank you very much. Next up is Julia. As soon as poor Will gets back. I just have to say, as many technical difficulties as we're having, we should watch some of the other CBA meetings.
That's right.
Not CBA, but the CBE.
All right, I think it's letting me speak now, if you can hear me. Hi, everyone. This is Julia Manza from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Sorry to not be there tonight. I'm actually in Central Park about to attend their precinct community council meeting. June is Gun Violence Awareness Month. I wanted to quickly announce an event we're having on Saturday at noon at Bethel Gospel Assembly in East Harlem called the Art of Healing event. This event is to kind of facilitate healing from gun violence, healing trauma through creative arts. So it's going to be a very powerful event, and I really encourage people to come see what resources are being offered, as well as to participate in some of the great arts programming there. I did also want to briefly announce an indictment that happened this week against a man for a Upper East Side subway shooting earlier this month, Stephen Sylvester. He's being charged with attempted murder, as well as a few other charges. I really encourage people to read the indictment. I know this was an event that was very traumatic to read about for many of us who take the 4 train every day. So I really encourage you to read that if you're interested. Obviously, reach out with any questions, and I'm wishing everybody a happy Pride. Thanks so much. Have a great meeting.
I mean, she was like, let's just get through it.
Appreciate your desire, but the reason for hybrid, and it's not just this location, it's every single time, is to be more inclusive.
We can't hear it, that's life, let's move on and we can just move on with the meeting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we're turning people off by it. I'm not saying we should not have it at all, but
You can't have that, you can't.
we can't hear, it's
discuss
a
it.
waste, and we can't.
Okay,
then
that's
hear
not part of
very well.
information. I'm sorry, Barbara. We can discuss that as a new agenda item and how we want to
Okay,
move
but
forward.
and this is a point, it's hard to hear you because it's been geared for the Zoom. And we've never had that before the Zoom. It's bad both ends. And it's
Okay,
bad.
I see what you're saying. Let's finish up. Let's try Hannah Wiederman from Congressman Nather's office is the last one. Hopefully we can hear her better, and that's the end of it. Okay?
Hi, everyone. I'm Hannah Wienerman from Congressman Jerry Nather's office. I will speak as slowly as I can so you can hear me. Congressman Nather expressed his disappointment in Governor Hochul's announcement to delay the implementation of congestion pricing on June 30th as previously planned. After years of delays, we need congestion pricing now more than ever to reduce paralyzing vehicle traffic in the central business district, improve air quality in our city and region, and raise desperately needed capital funds to enhance the public transit system that millions depend on. He also delivered a statement in support of congestion pricing at today's MTA board meeting. Congressman Nather joined his fellow local Upper East Side elected officials in a letter to the New York City Public Design Commission, urging it to reconsider its current Link 5G tower designs, which are currently out of context with the historic nature of many of our neighborhoods. Smaller 5G infrastructure has already been implemented throughout the city with little impact to their surrounding neighborhoods and should be considered as a thoughtful alternative to the current 32-foot tower design. Have a great meeting. Lovely to see everyone. Happy summer.
I'm sorry, there's no discussion. I'm not laughing. You see me laughing? No talk. Thank you. All right, we're moving on.
Yeah, he was listening to you, not hear you really well, and I just.
Okay. The chair's report. I just want to say really congratulations to the current board members, Lindsay, Horvath, Sahar Hussein, and now I'm so sorry. Monica, well, she's not, Monica and King, who were honored by Assembly for distinguished women in our district. They joined the ranks of many of the women on this board, and congratulations for the work we do and the recognition. Thank you. Okay, I don't really have very much to say. We've been very busy. There's very good attendance at our meetings. And I urge, when we meet people, please encourage them to come. I'm sorry we had to cancel the art fair. It is postponed until September 21st. Again, shout out to David Helper. We check the calendar, there's no conflicts, but we do appreciate the input. That's really all I'm going to say tonight. And we have a big agenda ahead of us. City of Yes is a very important program. And I had said to you that the borough board was going to meet and vote at the last meeting, which was last Thursday. That did not happen. Instead, there was a 3-hour discussion of various proposals that were on the table. We are going to have a special meeting in early July prior to the public hearing, which is on July 10th. And there will be a borough board resolution. I can only say that each of the boards seems to be all over the map in terms of what they're approving or what they're not approving. We've given a lot of time to this map. We have representatives from the city planning commission here tonight. I want to thank you again for coming back and back and back and helping us evaluate this very huge proposal and change to the zoning code. And, whatever we decide tonight, I mean, as I say to the other, but whatever we decide tonight, we can still have additional input going forward. Again, the public hearing at CPC is on July 10th, and it moves to the city council. Last night, Councilmember Keith Powers came, and he promised to keep returning and keeping us updated on what was happening with Royal, in the council. So, thank you very much, and, I'll get into the district attorney.
All right, I'll be pretty brief tonight. Two scheduling notes for July. Number one, we have, revived the charter revision task force from a few years ago. There's a new charter revision, commission that's been established by the mayor. They will be meeting, Russell, what day? July 8th, for their first and maybe only meeting, because the charter revision commission has to have their ballot proposals in by the beginning of August.
I just want to thank both Sherry Wiener and Russell Squire for co-chairing this committee together. And I know it's going to be a really good outline and talk about what's happening, because a lot of rumors are around, and I'm sure it'll be very informative. So I hope you all can attend.
And then 2 days later, we would theoretically have our land use committee meeting. As long as you guys vote on CB8M tonight, then we don't have to have that meeting. And so it'll be canceled. We have received dozens of, or not, I mean, multiple dozens of applicants for the new community associate role that we're going to start interviewing next week. If you guys have anybody at all who you think might be interested, they still have time to apply. Otherwise, at our July 17th full board meeting, hopefully we'll have somebody to vote on to replace Robert's position. That's kind of it.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we're going to move on to the City of Mass Housing Opportunity Resolution. We took from the land use meeting the result of the straw poll, and the resolution is set up exactly the way we did City of Mass Economic Opportunity. It breaks down where we are on each of the proposals. So does anyone want to make a motion? Go ahead.
Barbara, I'm sorry I didn't stay at the zoning meeting and didn't have a chance, but I did read what Will sent, or you sent to us. There's just one thing I would like to question. I know somebody who was the executive director of a nonprofit that paired people that were about to lose their home with those that needed home. And she said it was so unbelievably successful. And I'm wondering why we voted no on the shared space portion of it.
I can't really tell you why we voted no. I mean, there was a lot of discussion and evaluation of the shared housing piece. And the consensus was, hold on, I can't remember what the vote was on that one. That it was not a good idea. So I can't tell you. We're not
discuss. Okay.
There have been multiple discussions. In various meetings. Alita? Sorry.
To ask for friendly, make a friendly amendment.
Can you stand up and then, so everyone can try and hear you? Maybe just come to the front so that people can maybe read the camera.
Thank you. I'd like to propose a friendly amendment. I count 21 provisions where community.
Well, first of all, the motion isn't even.
Oh, okay, then I'll wait.
Okay, well, just stand there. Does anyone want the motion play? Okay. Addison is making the motion. Is there a second?
Yes.
Thank you, Sharon. Okay, now.
Okay, thank you. So my friendly amendment is that I count 21 provisions where community input is eliminated, including the borough president and city council for commissions for city planning, authorizations or certifications. So my friendly amendment would be that anything that removes community input should not be permitted. That's all.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. It's your motion.
I'll accept it. Thank you.
Okay, Alita, can you just give me the verbiage when
yeah, can we do it right now?
We don't have to do it right now.
Good, thank you.
Okay. Margaret, take it.
Yeah, hi, regrettably, I
Can you
wasn't,
stand up and maybe just stand by, I hate to do this, but we're trying to make everybody be able to hear us.
No, you can hear, like, the rest of the talking, yeah, they can.
Okay, sorry, please stay there. Thank you.
yeah, regrettably, I wasn't able to attend the land use meeting. I noticed that it appears that we oppose conversions of non-residential buildings to residential buildings. I can't understand why we would do that. It seems like a great idea and save us so much open space and the need for construction. I'm wondering if there's some way that we could not include that provision and as things we object to. And one other point is that buildings are already being converted in the city to residential.
We don't take a position on that.
Well,
Okay, I can't have
it said no on the email.
Wait, finish first. okay.
No, it said no, it listed conversions
Right.
as no on the email we got today.
Right. That's where we voted. I mean, just recalling some of the discussion and, you know, if there's, I guess. If people really want to change it, I guess we can move it, but part of the discussion was that should be a full unit procedure depending upon the building. And then secondly, there's no provision that affordable housing be included in any of those projects. Now, I will say that city plans spoke to this last night and the rationale and asking each of them. But part of the rationale for not including affordable housing is that it's a very expensive proposition to turn a commercial building into residential, and therefore the priority is more housing. So it would answer that. Do you want to say anything?
So that's right. So essentially, you know, one of the goals for today, yes, as an opportunity to make things as easy and quick as possible. So part of the rationale for the affordable housing part is also because there is the only way we do that conversion can happen in these buildings is through a tax incentive. So the state is built in affordability requirements funding the state side for the tax incentives. So we don't think that there's no coverage for that. And also at the same time, another thing is something is go as a right rather than ruler is again to not miss up that development and getting those buildings into it's.
Oh, Chuck.
I'd like to make a general comment. I think we've labored mightily.
Talking to the microphone, Chuck.
And well, all right.
They cannot, look, it messes everything.
I think it messes everything up. I'll try to project. I think we've labored mightily and done not much. This is for affordable housing. And if you're trying to get more affordable housing, you're going to have to change the status quo. And this resolution does not do much to change the status quo. Out of 15 proposals, we say yes to 4 of them, we say no to 10 of them, and one we have no position. And I'm very much opposed to this resolution. I don't think it gives any guidance at all. And I think it's frankly, we've spent a lot of time on this and we haven't come up with much. And I know that, and frankly, I'm not going to propose any amendments because I don't think we want to get into that, but I'm just going to oppose it.
Okay. Russell said no to 9.
So I'll also try to project. So I just picking up on where Chuck left off. I just want to observe that of the things that we're approving in the resolution, none of them add to affordability in our district. There are 3 of them that apply outside of Manhattan. None of what we're putting in the resolution in terms of what we're saying we want adds any affordability in our community district. So to me, that really is unacceptable. And I think it's fine for us to say that we don't like everything about the proposal. But to throw everything out entirely, I think is not adequate. And I think we're not limited to just up and down, yes or no on each of these proposals. So to pick up on what Peggy was saying, you know, to make it easier to do these conversions. And if the objection is there's no requirement for it to be affordable, let's say that we want a requirement for it to be affordable and that we want it with that condition. I think that's better than just saying no. And I also think, frankly, that UAP, the idea of some bonus for more affordability, I'm open to that. Now, I unfortunately was not at the meeting last week, so I wasn't privy to the whole discussion, and I understand that there was, I'm sure it was lengthy. But, you know, whatever the concerns are about UAP, I mean, particularly to the extent it has to do with height limits unique to our district and some of the special districts that we have, why don't we just exempt those, but still be in favor of some sort of a bonus for affordability that could apply in our district so that we're getting some sort of additional affordable housing out of this massive effort that the city is undertaking, instead of saying that we're not gonna be in favor of anything.
Jamie, you're next.
I was at the meeting last night. I didn't stay for the whole time. But the fellow from city planning did explain very lucidly why conversions of commercial property were so difficult to achieve. And if you put in an affordability requirement, you would not find a developer
Max,
that is
please
willing to
don't.
take on the expense of converting commercial property into a residence. It has to do with the floor plate, the windows. It's not an easy thing, and there's a very small percentage of commercial buildings that would even qualify to be converted. I just wanted to make that point. Thank you.
Okay, so in terms of making the point, I mean, Russell, I hear what you're saying, but so what are you trying to say? Because when we just rehash everything, I mean, you know, I can't have the same meeting over and over again, so, you know.
So I mean.
Are you
How about-
proposing a friendly amendment, and then we can vote on it that way to move one, if you wanna reconsider the UAB portion with a condition, I'm happy to, I think, entertain that on behalf of Addison in terms of a friendly amendment, but.
Yeah, I would. I mean, sure. So I would put either a friendly amendment or a substitute motion that's basically the same motion, except that we say yes to proposal number 5 on the condition that we, I mean, again, look, I don't know what the concerns were that were expressed, so I'm just gonna sort of take a flyer that what they might have been, things that I personally am concerned about. But I think to say that, you know, well, I would just say yes on UAP, and if other people have things that they want to add, such as something relating to the special districts or something related to whatever, we can do that. But my substitute motion is to say yes on UAP, and I would also say yes on number 6, the parking thing, which also doesn't even affect our community district, so I don't know what our concerns are.
Okay, can I, let's just talk about UAB for a moment. Part of the reason that I think it was rejected, and I think the vote was 22-15 against, was that the bonus was based on giving additional FAR, okay? And that was seen as not the correct trade, or that there wouldn't be enough affordable housing, and there wouldn't be affordable housing at the correct, or preferred AMR. And therefore, we weren't, in this neighborhood, we wouldn't, even if we said yes to UAP, it wouldn't result in more affordable housing here.
So
I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what was said in the room, okay? Can let Anthony.
That's
Go ahead.
I can respond to that, but that's my
Okay, can you?
Just the point, the principal concern over that provision was the effect that it would have on the R8B zone.
So I will amend my, go ahead.
And the reason for that is that it would begin to erode what is more or less a kind of uniform 60 to 70 foot height within the R8B, the mid blocks of our district. If we eliminate those and we eliminate all the special districts, whether they're landmarks or the Park Avenue district or any of those, if we eliminate all of those from this, there's very little of our district, which in fact it would affect. And the problem is those areas it would affect are the areas that are, pardon my editorializing, under siege, Third Avenue, Second Avenue, First Avenue in New York, which are totally unprotected. And so I believe that the sense of the board at the land use committee, or the sense of the land use committee was that the net effect for us would be many more tall buildings on the unprotected avenues. And many of us felt that that was inappropriate. I mean, the principle of saying, yes, we're gonna bonus more for affordable housing is good. It may not really, it may only work to make our district less livable.
Look, I'm open to the idea of cutting RAB out of it. I don't think I would want to go further than that. But I think the idea that it doesn't create enough affordable housing, therefore we shouldn't do anything at all, that makes no sense to me. So I would rather do something than nothing.
Well, what is your proposal?
Yeah, so it's the same resolution, except we're gonna say yes on 5 on the condition that it doesn't change RAB.
Can I second that?
You can, well, I don't think we have to do it as a substitute resolution, we can just keep.
So just do
the resolution.
That's fine too.
One with a condition.
That's fine too, so yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so,
I'll accept that as a friendly amendment.
okay, but I think we have to give people an opportunity to speak to the friendly amendment, so. Michelle, you have your hand up first.
Yeah, I just wanna, say, call the question with the friendly amendments on the resolution that is before us. If at a future date, there will be other meetings and you wanna make other resolutions, that's fine. But we worked very hard on this, they were lengthy discussions. We have it in front of us, we've accepted the amendments, and I call the question, we should take the vote.
Can't talk, she talked first.
I'm sorry.
She can't make an amendment, motion, she talked first.
I can't hear her.
Technically, you can't make that motion because you spoke first.
I think I said, call the question, and then I spoke, and then I repeated the words, call the question.
I honestly don't think that that was the case, but
Okay.
I'll call on Mark.
Go to the videotape.
Sorry.
I believe that we need to create affordable housing. Nobody is against affordable housing. And the contrary, we would like to have. But if you put the number doesn't add up. We reduce affordable housing with this plan. We create gentrification. We create a spatial segregation. We put people from our community, especially in the mid-block, and there's plenty of rent control and rental rights units to put it out of our community, to build 11 affordable units and 56 market rates, which basically you use the pattern that happened in the community more aid on the avenue. They usually go for less. They never build 100% of the maximum allowable floor area or the density. They never. They use always between 23% to 54%. So basically what we're doing is reducing housing. And we are in a crisis that we need to create housing. And that is what is strongly opposed that one. In the numbers doesn't lie. According with the as a right of development in a lot of 25 by 100, you can build 15 units. With this program, you can build 18, 3 more. But as now, as exists, is 20.
Okay.
So right now it's 20, you're gonna reduce to 2. Doesn't have no sense.
Okay. Anybody else? Are you gonna talk or?
Yeah, but I was going to propose another friendly amendment, but I'm not sure if it's in here already.
I can't hear you.
I was just going to say another friendly amendment, but I'm not sure whether it's in here, so
Well, I don't think we're still on the iPhone amendment. We're still on Russell's proposed amendment that remove UAP out of the no and make it a conditional yes, that we're in favor of UAP, so long as it doesn't touch RAD. Am I essentially saying correct? John,
All the questions?
on the amendment, this is on the amendment, correct? I want to make sure.
The amendment.
If it's a friendly amendment, it's in.
Okay, are we gonna make it? Okay, okay, so now we're calling the question, John called the question, is there a second, I'm calling the question?
Can we get a description of exactly what we're going?
Okay, so the two friendly amendments are from Alita, thank you, Adam, for jumping. The first one was Alita's, which said, well, the conversion?
Community.
No,
No. That didn't come through.
Peggy
Peggy was the conversion, okay, the conversion was that we moved the conversion from a no to a yes. Okay, that was the first one. The second one is Russell's, that we moved the UAP from a no to a conditional yes. And say yes, except for anything that's currently zoned for AB. Okay, and the first amendment was that I thought also Addison accepted was the leader's amendment, that anything that we had community approval as a condition now would have to continue to have a community approval process. So those are the three friendly amendments. Question has been called. We're gonna, that's the way we're voting on the resolution. Can you call the roll, Addison?
Alrighty, so I'm gonna go by last name. You're welcome to pass if you'd like to take more time to decide.
This is on the resolution.
This is on the resolution with the friendly amendments.
That will send to us. Yes, yes, exactly.
Anderson,
This is all three amendments.
this is all three amendments.
It's the resolution in front of you with the three amendments that I mentioned.
Yes.
Thank you. Mine is a yes.
Angelos,
Yes.
Ashley. Elizabeth,
Elizabeth.
Yes and no. Pass.
Barry,
No.
Bear Michaels. Birnbaum,
No.
Boris,
Pass.
Ferrera. Camp,
Pass.
Sher, Cone,
Yes.
Coleman. Hartzog. Persianson. Helper. Brickler. Led pass, Mason,
Yes.
McClellan. Myers. Meyerson. Partial,
No.
Crickler, oh, we got others, Phillips. Pope Marshall,
Pass.
Popper. Salcedo. Okay, Craig.
Pass.
Sanchez,
That was a yes.
Sassen,
Yes.
Schneider. No? Thank you. Seligson?
No.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Squire,
Yes.
Stein. Tamaya,
No.
Wall,
No.
Warren,
No.
Wiener.
Yes.
All right, let's do the passes. Ashley,
Abstain.
Boris,
Abstain.
Chid,
No.
Coleman.
Sorry? Abstain? You have to say something. Right? I'm sorry, can you say that one more time? Yes, okay, thank you. Couldn't hear you, sorry.
I pass, but my answer is no, my vote is no.
Okay, thank you. Left will be no. Phillips.
Yeah.
Pope Marshall. So say, not here, later, you got a later.
Yeah. No.
Thank you. All right, so the resolution fails, 14 yes, 22 no's, and 2 abstentions. Okay, so you want to do it?
Call the question on the original.
Call the question on the original?
Yes.
Okay, second, okay, here we go. On the original. Yes, all right, Anderson, meeting materials. Anderson. This is the vote, the resolution without the amendments.
No.
No. All right. Angelos. No. Okay, please make sure you're speaking up when I do this, because I can't, it's hard to hear. Ashby.
Ashby. Yes or no?
Okay, Baron.
Yes.
Baron Michaels. Birnbaum.
No.
Boris.
Yes.
Borrero.
No.
Camp.
No.
Cone.
Yes.
Coleman. Sandra. Okay, so. Hartzell. Christensen. Helper. Cricker.
No.
Later.
Later.
No.
Yeah, that's been,
We need to take that again.
Lev, no. Mason. Yes. McClement.
No.
Meyer. Meyerson. Partial.
No.
Phillips.
Yes.
Pope Marshall.
Yes.
Popper.
No.
Price.
No.
Rudder.
No.
Sussay. Sanchez.
Yes.
Yeah. Sasser. Schneider. Seligson. Yes. Yes, okay, so.
No.
Squire.
No.
Stein.
Yes.
Tamaya.
No.
Wall.
No.
Warren.
No.
Weiner.
Yes.
All right, we're coming back to the passes, Ashby.
Abstain.
All right, Hartzog.
Yes.
And that is everyone, so the resolution fails, 13 yes, 24 no's, and 1 abstention. Okay, so now we're going to.
Let's move on. So what happened?
Okay, so we won't be voting on sitting yes at the board? At the borough board, okay?
Okay, why not?
Because we don't have anything to say.
Let's
do
move on
the
the agenda. Resolutions, that's your vote.
No, that's not how it works. We don't have a position. We don't have a position.
You have to affirmatively vote yes to something, even if it is a no on everything, that is your vote, you have to affirmatively vote yes on something, otherwise you have no position.
The resolution, each resolution has been voted down, so we don't have a resolution to present. I don't have anything to tell them.
Let's just move the agenda.
Okay.
If they don't approve the city of yes. That's the position.
I said yes.
I just wanted to clarify that the
Come to the mic.
commission is not voting on this until September. So even though
Can't hear you.
the vote,
Come to the mic, please.
Can you repeat?
so the commission is not voting on this on this text amendment until September. So even though there is a public hearing on July 10th, you can still submit a resolution all the way up until September if you choose to do that. Just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you.
But we don't have to do it. Okay.
No, we don't take a position on it, so now, I go to the meeting or wherever, and I ask for our positions on the meeting. I tell them we don't have.
Right, you can't report on the vote?
No, what the vote is no. The vote is no.
There's no position.
Okay, we're moving the agenda, and I'm happy to introduce the chair of the Roosevelt Island Committee, Paul Fricker. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Valerie. So now for something completely different. This is the feel-good resolution.
So either come closer if you can't hear him, or nobody online is gonna be.
I will try.
So there's a lot of room closer to Michael, a lot of room closer to the front. If you're gonna complain about not being here, get a little bit closer to them.
The people who are here should be able to hear. The people
Yeah.
who are not here,
I hear you.
they're second.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna shout. How's that for everyone? So this is the feel-good resolution you've been waiting for. So do we have a picture? So behind the screen, behind me on the screen, I hope you can see that's the Roosevelt Island Farmers Market. And the gentleman above there, that's Israel Weingart. He's the farmer. And I hope what you can see in the picture, maybe actually if you could. Thank you. It's a very well organized, it's a lovely farmers market, it's very large. It's well set up. During the day, they keep it well maintained. When they leave in the afternoon, it's completely spotless. But what you won't know by looking at the picture are a few things. The first thing you won't know is that I think the farmers market is almost every single weekend. I hesitate to say it's every week of the year, but I believe in some years it's been every week of the year. It's certainly 50 or 51 or 52 weeks a year, rain, snow, or shine. Another thing you won't know is that the farm that these people come from, it's the farm and his family, and people who work for him, it's in Pennsylvania. And they get up at midnight on Friday, they drive with 2 huge trucks, and they park in the plaza on Roosevelt Island, and they get there by 3 o'clock in the morning, and they set the market up, and they're ready for business around 6 o'clock. When they finish at 2 or 3 o'clock, they've got to pack it up, drive 3 hours home, presumably lots of stuff as well. So it's a huge commitment. And again, I'll say it again, every week of the year. And the final thing that you won't know is that gentleman, Israel Weingart, he's been doing exactly what I described for 35 years. What boy and man, as a man and as a boy. When he was 10 or 11 years old, he came with his dad, and he's doing it now with his kids. So when I heard of that 2 weeks ago, I thought, that's incredible. This family man and his family, committing a huge part of their lives to acting with Roosevelt Island, week in and week out. And we obviously are very grateful to them. We have a wonderful farmers market. He does wonderful give us food. He helps the people who are needy on the island and lots of other things. And so what I thought we should do is honor him. We're going to have a tribute. At the end of the summer, we're going to have a lot of people come and have the kids do something in school, make something. Long story short, what we've done in front of you is we have a resolution that I'd like to give him, just basically saying thank you for having me. And so I wonder if anybody would like to call the question.
Call
Michelle.
the question.
Anyone second? Anyone going to? Yeah. Good. Thank you.
Okay, so by acclamation, thank you very much, Paul, I appreciate it. Okay. Just 1 second, why don't you make it at the end? Because it's not really, you're not really saying anything about the next movement, right? Because we're on landmarks. You can say that at the end of landmarks. Okay, well, I just. First of all, at this point, I'm sorry, David, I apologize, Aska, I don't know, and your colleague, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are, but, do you want to stay for the rest of our meeting? I mean, I really appreciate you coming.
There's no other questions.
I don't think we're gonna take this up again tonight. Is anybody up for that? Okay, well, thank you very much for coming, and then I'll go on. Go ahead, Michelle, make it quick.
Yeah, okay, what I wanted to do is give very high praise to the zoning committee last night. I actually went to watch the meeting because I couldn't attend. And it was fabulously impressive as to how the committee functioned under the co-chairs, Anthony and Elizabeth, and their comments, and the very educated and very informative comments of all of the speakers. Valerie, Marco, John, Sharon, and others spoke eloquently on the zoning issue that was before us. There was no resolution. It was an informative meeting, but it was fabulously done. And if you weren't in attendance, I suggest you watch it because you will learn a lot. It was very worthwhile, and I wanted to just give a congratulations to the committee and all of the speakers.
Okay.
Well done.
I appreciate that, and I also want to say again, I'd like to thank City Planning Commission, because it is a really good dialogue. For those of you who missed the last, planning meeting, there really is a good exchange. Being mentioned it in terms of city planning, explaining the commercial to the residential, et cetera. So you can take a look at that. Okay, let's move on. Landmarks, thank you.
I'll just screen from up here.
Whichever you guys want to do.
Should I go get it? No, I mean, you said that where you were.
It's been on the edge, maybe very important.
There's no right answer.
All right, go ahead, David.
All right, so we're gonna alternate the first one. 210 East 52nd Street. Can we get the slides up, please?
Yeah.
Let me preface all this by saying that anything that was approved 7 or 8 years ago is absolutely irrelevant. We are starting all over again with this particular project. In any event, what you see on the left is the way it was what they call pre-construction. And then you're seeing it what it looks like now, and you're seeing what's proposed, which is a stucco limestone facade, there's stucco rhinestone on the side. You can make your own judgment as to whether you feel that's appropriate or not about balance. We feel as to balance already with the whole mechanism of both. The major issues are really in the roof. So you're seeing this parallel building the way this developer left it. And you're seeing the overside roof addition that they suggested and built. Many of them that's going to the next. What they're proposing is an extension that goes out to the 30-foot rear yard line and the 16-foot 11-inch extension. That's really what's appropriate here, just following the zoning. It's appropriate is following the ordinance of the existing houses. These are maybe probably, and what you're also seeing on the right is what they're proposing, which is all glass facade, all their precedents for that, and then districts. We feel very appropriate federal farms next. This shows the proportions. You can see how far out the extension is. It's 340 feet, square feet of the floor. Plus 100 some square feet of the property. Next. You see the original composition that they put on the lease. Large and what was approved. So again, it's irrelevant. The yellow lines, but they are plain, they don't need to this time. Next. And you can see built versus the proposed. In our judgment, the proposed is still much larger and appropriate. Thanks. Also, the basic fabric of this house is being changed. If you look at the red lines, going to the second floor, you can see that they have raised the floor so that it is level with the inside of the window. Really appropriate when that's like this. True, the windows fall and that they're close to the floor, to have the floor line exactly the same as the other side of the window is absolutely appropriate. And of course, you can see all the reconstruction that goes on third floor. Next. I guess that's it. In any event. Yes, question.
Question. This is disapproved. If it is disapproved by LPC, do they have to remove the rooftop?
Oh, yes. Yeah, nothing that's there. First of all, they didn't know what was originally approved.
Right, know that.
So they have to be, and what was originally approved no longer has any merit because it's permanent language of 5 years. They're flying all over it.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Yes.
Call the question.
Second. Okay. So this is,
Calling the question. Anybody opposed to this approval? This was unanimous for us, we committed as it's unanimous.
thank you, unanimous disapproval.
Okay. All right, the second item is 23 and 25 East 64th Street, which are part of an assemblage of 3 buildings. Let's see, we have this is 23 East 64th Street. Yes, and what they are planning to do here is to try and return it as much as possible to its appearance at its last, but, okay.
If you did.
Why not just shine it, make it positive. Last but one renovation, which is in fact to replace the door here. This is actually a garage elevator. It's a bi-parted garage elevator for the, I presume, for the tenants of this building. This is apartments above, and we had the whole corner, apartments above the bodega vending store. And so the idea here was to try and kind of clean up some alterations that had been made in 1980 and return this and its neighbor. You can go to the next slide. Return it and its neighbor, this is the neighbor, to something closer to their appearance at the last major renovation, which was in the 20s. What the applicant is proposing to do is in fact to restore all of this brownstone, hard brownstone detail. You can see some more of it here. To restore all of that, in fact, to its original state, which is late 19th century. The ground floor, which is in fact part of the store, is new and renovated even more of the transom, put above the window, so the window head, put above the door, so the window head and the door line. And the idea here really was to try and make the 2 buildings look more distinct than they had looked since the 1980 renovation, and to return them as close as possible to their original conditions. Michelle.
Call the question.
This was a unanimous approval. Does anyone disagree? No, so this is unanimous.
Okay, thank you. Perfect.
So far.
This next one is also, it's doable, which is 690 Clark Avenue. Which is the county council. And they want to do is create an accessible entrance. Hard to tell Yeah, you can see it a little bit better. Anyway, on the street side, close to Park Avenue side. What they want to do is, they have a rear yard, go to the next. Go to the next. Yes. And they have. I'll just put it. So they have a rear yard. I want to go into the rear yard, I want to put in a handicap lift, steps on the side, and down the cellar level up to the first floor level. They have visas on one level, passports on the other level. There is no way of creating an interior. This works quite well. Let's go to the next. Here you're seeing the elevation as it, according to the same section, would be lifted and set to the rear yard. You can see the frames are on the window, the other window on the left. You can see how the left frame and the door reasonably close to the window and the door below is also the same. Let's go to the next. And when you look from the street, what's happening on the upper, you see razor wire, on the lower one, you see black spikes. So they do need security that will have a lot better. And the two doors are a little bit larger. Essentially, buildings is going to change. That will, and this is I said, it's to do. Well, okay. So anybody, bring a little, no.
I don't know, I was gonna call the question.
It's
already been done.
Okay,
unanimous.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, now there's one more. This was a busy evening for all of us. And this is 57.
The microphone.
Sure, yes, you're right.
Okay, that was the extent of it. Okay, this is 57, 73rd Street. And basically what the applicant wants to do is to add this large structure to the top of this existing building. So the building will go from being just about 60 feet high to being almost 80 feet high. And there are certain zoning dodges to create these kind of outdoor balcony spaces on the upper part of the lower part of the upper roof, and then some sort of viewing platform all the way up at the very top. I think there are also, so this was unanimously disapproved as being, do we have another slide or is this the last one? Here we go. So this is what the existing section. And then we go forward one more, they filled in. Filled in one of the balconies and the space above the balcony and the space above that. All of this being additional space added to the building, and the additional height makes it completely inappropriate on this one. I don't think there's any other way to say it. Marco.
Oh, thank you. I think, can you put it back, what is the original picture? The rendering?
Yeah.
That one, yeah. I think this one reflects what it is, the Sliver Law. Sliver Law avoids this kind of situation. All the roofs are almost equal, except this one that put an element in the middle of nowhere. And they try even to hide from the front, 30 feet back. But you can see it, even in the design is antagonist in the way that I should say it. Doesn't contribute in anything. And the bulk, it looks completely out of proportion of the well-scale buildings that exist in that area. I think this is a good example why the sliver law should exist. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Call the question.
Second.
Does anyone, this is unanimous disapproval, does anyone?
Addison's were closed.
Yeah, they're still there. Max is raising his hand, and we're both voting.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think it's can still record the vote, whether everybody else is a yes. Or,
Yes.
it's unanimous to me, everybody else, they, yeah. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
all right, thanks very much. Okay, Parks and Waterfront? I'm sure you can handle it.
Hi there, can everybody hear me?
Use the microphone.
How's it?
Good.
So we really heard the layout for St. Patrick's Park again this month because we had some problems, we heard from a lot of community members. So everybody came to the meeting, and I think we finally came up with a resolution that stressed the point that were important for the parks department from the community board. And yes, President.
Call the question.
Okay, that's it. Okay, are there any no's? Everybody in favor?
Okay.
Okay, will parks ask, is it possible to get this sent to them tomorrow?
Yeah, if it's exactly what was in the language of the.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, we do. Thank you very much.
as long as you go to a waive your right to remove.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so this is
Thank you.
So that renovation's going forward,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
because it's not spelled out, so the renovation's going forward on St. Catherine's.
Yeah.
is how it's-
I just like to say something that someone who spoke in the public session, that was you.
Yes.
And you said that the park was going to be closed for 2 years.
Yes.
We passed, you took the park, I think, 3, 4, how many years ago? We haven't even started on it. We may approve a park, they may design it, it has to go to so many city agencies and have so much done. I think it's probably a minimum of at least 3 years, if not more, before we ever see any work done. Okay, thank you, Tina. Okay, Mr. Warren for transportation, you're right.
In transportation, we have two unanimous, and I'll explain them. One is the ADA upgraded 86, 4, 5, and 6. And essentially what what they're doing there is as some of you, most of you probably know, there's one elevator on the downtown side that goes to just the one platform, not the express platform. They're going to extend another elevator down to the express platform. And they're going to put 2 elevators on the uptown side, so you'll have accessibility to both platforms on the uptown side. And it's gonna be a big construction, and for about 6 months, they're gonna have all the entrances, on the downtown side closed, and you'll have to go to the one that's further downtown. It'll be a little bit of a crowd. But I think everybody, is unanimous approval at the committee, and I think everybody publicly, is looking forward to it. And there was a question raised as to whether or not this should be held up because of the government decision, and no, the funding is already there for it, so it will not be held up. But yes, believe it.
Friendly amendment, because I use that subway entrance and there are a lot of itches.
I use it every day.
The
Yes.
stairs, and maybe to add that they do something to get rid of the pigeons, because with increased people and pigeons and all over, it will just be even more of a mess.
So they're gonna try to make some amenity improvements, and maybe we can add something about it. Okay, yes,
Is it possible to call the question on the two unanimous?
yes, it is, but let me talk about the second one just for a minute. The second one has to do with, the public hearing on 46 revocable consent. And this is to continue to use and maintain existing vault. And what that is these are stores here, and the vault is used for storage, and they need to just continue doing what they're doing. And so we unanimously passed that, it doesn't make sense. Now, Russell, did you have a thought? Second, okay. Well, the question you called on both of those resolutions. Does anyone object to that? Can we make it unanimous? Okay, you're in. Okay. Let's go to item number 2, which happens to be the bus, 96th Street Crosstown bus. And essentially they're making improvements on our side to create lanes, express lanes essentially, and to do other street amenities so that the bus can progress through much easier. Now, it also goes over the west side, and in your packet is a letter from the board chair, Community Board 7, where they have problems with what they're recommending on that side. And because they're eliminating some terms that they feel don't like it, and they also feel that they misrepresented the position. But it really does not impact us, and we need to consider what they're doing at the time, on the west side, in what we did. And it's still, it still makes sense, the improvements they're making on our side. Yes.
Yeah, well, it's been my experience that the so-called improvements, which is, I wish they would use the word changes, because improvements and other adjectives that they use or descriptive words imply something positive. That's not necessarily the case. They put the bus lane in on Lexington Avenue, they put it on 86th Street. On 86th Street, it saved 2 minutes on the entire route from the east side all the way to West End Avenue. On Lexington Avenue, it has raised havoc with traffic between the deliveries and the bus lane, and nobody can be in the bus lane. Lexington Avenue has 1 lane of traffic. I know that they think that they're calming the street, they're organizing the street, they're doing whatever, but they don't get enough bang for their changes and bang for the bucks. This is not a significant improvement, and it has the potential and the likelihood of causing more congestion.
Wait a second.
Therefore, I voted opposed.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, fine.
Well, I can tell you, I'm on the Second Avenue bus all the time. The bus lane is fantastic. I could go from 86th Street to Lower East Side in 20 minutes if there is a bus. The 86th Street Crosstown, I haven't timed it, but boy, whenever I've taken it, it's sped up. So it's not been my experience. And now I can't call the bus.
Point of information.
Yes.
How many lanes are part of this proposal?
Let me see, that's a good question here.
I thought it was 2, Sean.
Yeah, I think it's 2 lanes, yes. I very rarely ride the bus because I don't like to be held up on traffic. But I think that the bus lanes do help, these express lanes really do help. And yes, if we drive on bus, bus that I can't say that on all the time. Yes. Is there a second? Okay. Do we, are there people who want to vote against this? Okay. So.
About Gail, she's.
I think
Gail's got her camera off, so it's great.
Gail, and,
Okay, we're good. We got Gail.
I'm voting no.
okay. So do we just want to know, or do we want to call it?
I think it's those people, right? It's Michelle, Marco, Sasha.
I'm voting no.
And Russell. And actually, I'm gonna vote no too.
Okay.
But not for the reason that they're voting.
We call it.
It's solid.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much. Ken. Youth Education and Libraries Committee?
Yeah.
You've been nominated.
Exactly. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Sure, okay, there we go. So as you remember, we had several members of the public come speak about this. We had 2 committee meetings about this issue, so this was a vote on the resolution to restore hiring for Manhattan residents in the household admissions process. Yeah,
All the questions.
great. Anyone voting no on this? Sure.
All right.
Okay.
Is that it from the education?
That's it for you tonight.
Okay, Streetlight Committee.
I guess.
Addison is gonna be that person tonight too.
Yes.
And as you could just share, because I don't know if there are parents that are still on the Zoom that would be sharing that resolution with the chancellor of the nurses department.
Yeah, and just to let anyone on Zoom or the recording know, with regards to the resolution, the education committee, we're sending that to the chancellor, so that will be resolved. Okay, now I'm acting chair of the streetlight committee. So we have a bunch of unanimous approvals. There is no debate on any of these, so this is perfect.
Second,
Awesome, thank you.
second, were there any cannabis in there?
There were no cannabis in there. This is all the merits.
Okay. Streetlight. All right, any old business? Wow.
I'd like to just say that we're making progress with the illegal cannabis. The one right near me, 3 of them are locked up. And those that were opened, I don't see as open anymore. I think that the effect is a secondary effect, which those saying, well, instead of being closed and then confiscating, let me just leave. So I think we're getting some success.
Okay, great. I'm happy to hear that,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that
The one on 86, the one on 86, second, and the one on York Avenue, right by John's place, is locked up.
Shut up, okay, so okay, I'm gonna go back to my business for a second. The other business being, is a coastal amendment or a coastal resolution. I just want to say that I think that while I don't think it's crucial for us to participate in the borough board resolution, because that's just, an aggregation of the votes of all the community boards, I think it is very important for us to take a position on the zoning change that's gonna happen over, that, you know, it's gonna change the zoning resolution that hasn't been touched in 60 years. And so we don't have to do it tonight, but I just would be interested in just hearing a couple of voices in terms of, should we have a land use meeting in July, or we just vote up and down on each proposal? And I would propose that we do it this way. I mean, we have talked about all these things at length, okay? So if we limit the discussion to maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes on each proposal and go through it, and just give our recommendation per proposal and call it a second. Go ahead.
Just kind of a blanket statement, the stagnation and the NIMBYism in the board is the reason Elizabeth Rose and I have pushed hard to establish our task force. The board for years and years and years has said that affordable housing is their #1 priority. They have done nothing about it. Elizabeth Rose and I have established our task force. People have joined, it's been great. But then we have an opportunity to promote affordable housing in our neighborhood, and we outright reject it. And to me, it's unacceptable. And I think we need to propose a substitute resolution that accepts nearly all of the proposals in the city of Yes. If we don't want to accept sliver law, I understand that, we can set that aside. But I would propose a substitute resolution that accepts every item except for number 12.
Second on that.
And parking.
You're not gonna do that. You're not doing that.
There's no parking here.
Well,
Doesn't matter.
okay. Well, okay. Is this something you want to talk about now?
No, no.
We need to have a meeting.
Well, okay, look. That's something you can do if we want to do it at the next.
You could just take, it'll take 2 seconds to take a vote. But I think we should be on the record that the board is rejecting a sound proposal to promote.
Okay.
Everyone votes no.
Well, since we're taking no position on it, I agree with you, I think we should take a position on it.
No.
So,
Not tonight.
Jane,
I just want to say, I find it just so irresponsible to accuse people on this board of being opposed to affordable housing. Everyone is for affordable housing, but we care about this district. We care about our community board. And affordable housing doesn't just happen with the snap of a finger. Not only that, we've lost affordable housing because we allow luxury developers to come in and tear down low-rise buildings. We care about this neighborhood. I personally want parking garages. I do not want a change in the RAB. I want the sliver law. We are lucky on the Upper East Side to have mostly landmark areas, geographic areas, all the way from 59th to 86th Street west of Lexington. Imagine what it would be like if we didn't have those landmark districts. We are not opposed to affordable housing, but how do you make it happen? And I wish you guys had been at the zoning meeting last night. It's how do you make it happen? And if you like, city planning was saying last night that developers are gonna build more rental units because they'll get more breaks, tax-wise, affordable housing, FAR, et cetera. Instead of condos in our neighborhood, you are looking at high in the sky. So what we have to do is be not myopic. We have to figure out a way to make it happen. But we are not going to make it happen with some of these provisions in the city of yes.
okay, all right, thank you, Jane. Okay, no back. Okay, Ed, sorry.
Can I just say, I echo a lot of what Jane said.
Can't hear you yet.
I'll stand up. I echo a lot of what Jane says. Chairing the housing committee, co-chairing for the last 10 years, I do find it. I find it tired, and I could use some other adjectives, but I just find it tired. That this NIMBY, I won't use the adjective I want to. Those of you who know my desire to be a step door know that the adjectives I would use with that, that tired line of the real estate industry, that if you want to engage in any kind of policy, if you're against whatever they want, if you're immediately a NIMBY, or if you oppose congestion pricing, you are immediately a climate denier. I find that tired rhetoric. And if you came to the housing committee meeting, we had a very good discussion, and I've thrown it out there to the real estate industry, and I continue to do that on record now, which they refuse to come to our meeting and give us the numbers, which we've asked for, and they have it, like Nixon in '68 with the secret way to win the war, but they never exposed it, because you have to elect me, then you never saw the plan.
Okay, well,
Please, my point is, I find it tired, and in terms of this affordable housing, yes, and Jane is right. If you listen to Anthony and Marco and everyone else who's talked about it in the '70s on affordable housing, it's government intervention into play. Because the only way you built it in the '70s and '80s here in the city was because you had demolished all those plots of land. And so I think what Elaine Walsh had brought up and others have brought up, which is let's find some of these government owned lots that you can build on, because on the Upper East Side, it's just too damn expensive. And that's why we have this problem on affordable housing, because it's too expensive. And the only thing you're going to get is luxury condos, because it's the only way that they get their money back out. So it's sort of running in circles here, but let's have a real discussion. But I'm tired of this NIMBY stuff.
okay, we're not gonna have a real discussion, because here, okay, this is what I'm gonna say. We've had ample opportunity to talk about this, okay? And this, and my impression now, after hearing everybody, is we are a house divided. I hate to use that term, since we're talking about house, but we are a house divided. And maybe the best thing is that we remain in our houses and we cannot agree on this. So just leave it as is. If our position changes and as the months go forward, we feel that we're in a position that we're going to take another vote, then that's what we'll do. But I mean, based on what happened in land use, I know a lot of you were not here. The votes were fairly split. The only votes that were lopsided were ones that were against parking. Okay, against removal of the parking mandate, and the only other one was that we were against the infill proposal. Those are the only two, and trading of landmarks rights, I'm doing that off the top of my head, but I think as those are the three. Okay, so let's all even headed, we'll all go home, you think about it, we have till September, if we change our mind, we can come back to the zoning, and someone can make a motion and we can look at it. Judy.
I have a different motion I'd like to make or suggested, not on this note.
Okay.
You have to repeat what you're saying.
I don't know what you're saying, I'm so sorry.
I suggest, since this is how we're having our meetings, and a lot of the electives do not come to the meeting, they're on Zoom, and they can't, depending on what room we're in, it can't be heard, that we ask the elected officials to submit their testimony and have someone up here read it, because quite frankly, everyone that spoke up there, I think, you know, what they said, I'm missing.
Well, okay, so I think if I can say it a different way, and you can tell me if you agree or disagree. I appreciate the representatives of the state senator Kruger and some of the members CB8M being here. One of the reasons that I'm in favor of the representatives of our elected team in the room is because I think it gives the public the opportunity to have an exchange with them, either in the back of the room or after the meeting is over. And I really think, again, this is a sharing prerogative, that electeds are missing out on an opportunity to have conversations with their constituents. So that I would say this, I would say if you're in the room, we would get 15 minutes. And if you're not, please file a report with us and we'll read it at our budget.
Right.
That's the motion. Anybody second it? Okay, anybody against what I'm saying?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other new business, old business?
And you just have.
Motion to adjourn. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening, stay cool. Don't do anything for you. Okay, there.